How did I get into this mess? Why? Why did I do that?
That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore.
Hey, it's none of your business.
I'm telling you for your own sake. If you continue to see her, it's gonna be bad news.
You're lying.
Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl.
Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. The lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear. Just had better be more careful himself. A dark alley is friendlier than that girl.
Doug Swallow. He's not. First name sucked, last name Swallow.
She'll save me. I just know she will. It was like, snap. You know, come to think of it, I wonder what that was.
Feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake.
I was watching the whole time. Feeny never did a thing to Dougies. They're all very fond of their drugs.
Oh, I see. Young love. Oh, bittersweet. Unlike a mature man's, old love. Will the defendant please refrain from passing on his cold to the rest of us? I'm like 80. I don't wish to die here.
April 11th, 9:40 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 3. Well, it's finally time. I'm kind of nervous. Ahem. Oh, Grossberg. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, good morning.
Mia, please calm yourself down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicions of behavior, you know.
What are you talking about? I'm relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me, I'm relaxed.
Let go of my lapels. I paid good money for those. You obviously haven't got the temperament to be a lawyer.
I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous.
That's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Well, never mind. Whatever you feel, my dear, I, Marvin Grossberg, am at your service.
Is he gonna be on the thing with me? Actually, this is my second time in court.
You still surprise me. What with your earnest request last night? Let me handle this case, you suddenly said, and quite forcefully, too. And then you said, no, sir, I do not want those green eggs and ham.
I just found out yesterday about the case, I mean.
What, and you've already learned all the relevant facts? Well, about that, you see, oh wait, that's me.
Well, about that, you see, I mean, of course I have, I think.
Oh dear. In any case, don't let our client see you're so nervous. You see the poor young man in pink sweater over there, that's our client.
Man, I didn't... Bro's sick. You know, I wasn't expecting to have to defend Phoenix.
Hey, everyone.
Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia.
I just wanted to say, I'll give it all I've got. I'll be fine, no problem.
Oh, what's wrong? Do you have a cold or something, Mr. Wright?
Actually, it's Wright. Like the Flying Brothers.
Oh. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. The Wright brothers?
People screw it up all the time. And yes, I have a cold.
That's what this mask is for.
My doc says this way. I don't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says.
Right, Mr. Wright. You have nothing to fear in court today. Yeah, bro's out here with the pink pea. If you are truly innocent, I promise I will save you.
That's
right, he's the one on trial, not you. He's the one who should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. My name is Mia Fey. The person voicing me kinda hates me. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. The first time I appeared in court was a year ago. He's a budget Superman. But that trial traumatized me so badly. I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. It's been 1 year since then, and well, here I am again. But this time I'm going to win. Dang, you lost your first trial? Cringe. For my client and for myself. Where's Larry?
April 11th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2.
Oh, Grossberg is on the... Who the heck? Is that Mr. Payne?
Court is now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Oh my god, it's Mr. Payne.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. I've got a pompadour now. It looks like a little wiener on my forehead.
The defense today is Miss BFA, was it?
Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem? Can a woman not be on the stand?
No, I wasn't saying it like that. I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg was to be leading the defense.
Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency. He's right here.
Emergency? But isn't that him standing there right next to you?
I did not need to see him from this angle. Yes, well...
You're just a rookie. Are you sure you can handle this?
Let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look.
Oh, she slammed her hands.
Of course, Your Honor. I think.
I like the gusto. Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please.
Well, he's flicking the wiener. It makes me think of the, you know that one monkey with the big nose? That's what it looks like when he, like, flicks it. Well. I can't believe a veteran like me has to spend his time babysitting a new defense lawyer. Don't worry, little girl. It will all be over soon. What was all that about? Was he trying to trash talk?
He's dressed like the Riddler. Riddle me this, Batman.
Now then, Batman, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day of the question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named Doug Swallow. These nuts. He was a fourth-year student studying pharmacology.
Sounds like he was a very bright young man. Probably had a...
He looks like the guy I just defended in the last case. Yes, well, next we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime. Looks like he died of electricity. Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body. And the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway. Then they then called the police.
That certainly makes the defendant look very suspicious indeed. Very well. The court accepts this photo into evidence.
Crime photo 1 added. The crime took place behind the Ivy University.
By the way, I can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo.
What do we have? Doug's autopsy date. Date and time of the death. 4/9 at 3 p.m. Cause of death with a fatal electric shock. Well, this is 5 years before Phoenix Wright, like, I guess goes to court. Your reputation of forsagency is well earned, Your Honor. The truth is that this victim died a rather unusual death. An unusual death?
What do you mean, Mr. Payne?
Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question. Huh? A simple question. I thought I might loosen you up a bit. I'm a genteel man, if you will, my lady. A what? Stand up to him, Mia. Show him what you're made of.
A perfect opportunity. Well, what was it? The cause, go on. Please say you know that at least this much.
I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file.
My hemorrhoids. My hemorrhoids are beginning to act up. Now see here, the details of the case are filed under the court record. What, you knew that already, didn't you?
The court record, I think I can use that by hitting the tab button.
The weapons. we need to be found, or all of the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good, hard look at the date or data there and think carefully before you answer, my dear.
Yes, sir. I'll do just that. Gotta stay calm. I can't just let that prosecutor get the better of me. The court record. I know it's a fatal shock. He looks like a mutated hemorrhoid.
Now then, will the attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death?
Hypothermia, Your Honor. According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock. In other words, electrocution.
Electrocution? But how could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new, super powerful stun gun, perhaps?
No, Your Honor. The answer to that will become crystal clear as the trial proceeds, Your Honor. But before that, there is one more vital issue.
What's that?
Why? Motive, of course. Apparently, there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant.
Bad blood?
What do you mean?
Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. Hello. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this.
I really don't like this guy's smug attitude.
That's Winston Payne.
His first name's Winston? Isn't that the gorilla guy from Overwatch?
That's Winston Payne for you. He's a smooth operator, if you catch my drift.
He's also got a wiener on his forehead.
You don't call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know.
Now then, let's hear from the defense. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? And this time, I'd like to see some supporting evidence.
Evidence?
No need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all of our weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need and shove it into the old Greybeard's face.
Yes, sir. Into old Greybeard's face.
Mr. Grossberg, try to set a better example for the young lady.
Yeah, evidence isn't the only thing in the court record. People's profiles.
Oh, God. Okay, so we still gotta do the profile crap. Dahlia Hawthorne, Phoenix Wright's girlfriend, dated the victim Doug Swallow up until 8 months ago. Oh, so at the beginning, was it Doug saying or telling Phoenix not to date her? Interesting. Why is everyone here red? Except Winston Payne. Okay, anyways.
This is another thing to the people's profiles as well. You can toggle between profiles and evidence with the tab. Be sure to go over it all.
Now then, let's see what you've got.
We're defending Phoenix 5 years previous, and we're playing as Mia. Wait.
What was the cause of the bad blood between Phoenix Wright and the victim?
Women. It's always women. The reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here.
Dahlia Hawthorne, is it?
Very good, Miss Fay. You seem to have picked up on that much, at least. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright.
This is just the tutorial for the third game.
But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow. First name Suck, last name Swallow. Clearly, she has some part to play in this story.
He's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, he's already got the judge thinking like he wants.
The fact that the judge even believes this dude is crazy.
Very well, Mr. Payne, please call your first witness.
If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? The defendant himself? Well, Miss Fay?
It's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? The defense has no objection.
Very well. The court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand.
Witness, I hear you have the disease. Please state your name and occupation.
Yes. My name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now, I guess I'm a suspect.
No. It means what you did before you were arrested.
No. I was a university student.
Mr. Wright, you understand?
But I didn't do it. I'm innocent, I tell you. I'm telling you I was...
Will the defendant please refrain from passing on his cold to the rest of us? I'm like 80. I don't wish to die here.
It seems the witness has something he wants to say.
Well then, Mr. Wright, Please tell us about your relations to the victim.
Right away, Your Honor. This feels so wrong. I admit I was there, but I'm not the killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Jesus. We're not playing the Great Chronicles.
I see. So you hardly knew the victim.
Right. Like I said, I'm not a killer. Ooh, it looks like the judge understands.
You're being naive, you know, too naive.
Huh?
It seems that you've forgotten one small thing, young lady.
And that would be...
This witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination.
Cross-examination?
He's right, and it's the defendant's duty to carry out the cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if the witness's testimony contains any contradictions.
Contradictions?
If the witness is lying, their statement will conflict with the court record.
But Mr. Wright is my client.
If he is your client, in court all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see.
What does he mean by... Is he saying that testimony just now? That there was a lie, contradiction. Phoenix. It's me from the future. Don't lie in court, you moron. It's pointless.
Now then, your cross-examination, if you please, Miss Fay.
Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? The victim and I. Well, we don't really got much for evidence. He was a fourth-year pharmacy student. He was a third-year art student. The heck are you going to school for art? Didn't you want to become an attorney? Alright, anyways. When you say there, you mean the place where the victim was murdered. Yeah, we're coming through everything. Yeah, sort of. The place where something happened, anyway.
Something? You can't hide what happened. We have photographic evidence.
Anyway, Mr. Wright, what were you doing at the scene of the crime? I thought you said you didn't know this victim, Mr. Swallow. It was just a coincidence. We bumped into each other by accident.
A coincidence,
But I'm not a killer. Do I look like I'd kill somebody? I'm about to kill somebody with that cough. You say you found the body, so who called the police? Huh?
Unfortunately, it was some other student that notified the police.
Other students?
That's correct. They were witnesses.
I'm kind of upset the judge doesn't look a little different. Like, I know it's only 5 years, but like, you know.
The witnesses who saw the defendant standing there next to the body in shock.
What? Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Could you stop sneezing every time you're in a bind? Well, it's true that I was pretty shocked when I found the body. But I hardly knew the guy. Yeah, instead of a full beard, he had like a goatee or something. That'd be funny. So you didn't know his face or even his name, right? Right. Oh, well, no. That is, I mean... So, which is it? Did you know him or not?
Now see here, you can't avoid answering the question by sneezing all day.
Well, I guess I did know his name. News to me? Why didn't he tell me that before? Oh, I heard he used to date Dolly.
Who is this Dolly person?
Ah, yes, that would be the defendant's lover, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, I see. Ah, young love. So bittersweet. Unlike a mature man's, old love. Which is sad.
But that's all I knew about him. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. That's right. I mean, why would I even...
But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe?
That's you!
Well, Mr. Wright? No, it wasn't me. I'm not a killer, I swear.
God, dude, this guy would become a defense attorney. Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe?
Yes, well, he played a lot of British video games from what I heard. So the voice just kind of stuck with him.
He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Does that make you a wannabe?
Did you see it at the scene of the crime? The Union Jack, I mean.
What is a Union Jack?
Yes, that's right. I saw it at the scene of the crime. That's why I figured he must love British stuff, see? It's true. Cross my heart. I swear I didn't do it.
Is it a British flag? I wouldn't know.
He's acting fishier than the salmon I ate last night.
May I ask you something, Miss Fay?
Yes, Your Honor. What is it now?
Who is this person anyways? This
Union Jack fellow. See, I'm not the only one.
The Union Jack is the name of the United Kingdom's flag.
Oh, I see. So you mean like the Stars and Stripes, right? God, they're not like those pure-blooded Americans like me, the judge. We stand for the red, white, and blue with the stars on it. We know our flag front and back. I don't know what this Union Jack crap is.
Sir, you're being a little insensitive.
What?
As usual, Your Honor, your insight astounds me.
Hey, something just occurred to me. Isn't there something strange about this bit just now?
Mia, there's a contradiction here.
Mr. Grossberg?
Quickly now, show that boy you mean business with evidence, I mean.
Okay, Mia, check the court record carefully.
Well, my dear, do you think you can manage your own from this point?
Well, he said he had the flag on his back, but there's no flag on his back in this picture. You know? Yeah, I can handle it.
1 year ago, I was in a courtroom just like this. I can do it. I can handle this myself.
You mustn't try to bite off more than you can chew, Mia.
I'll be fine. I know what I have to do.
Remember, you can always press him to get more information on, one more thing. When you're going to state a contradiction, make sure you present some definitive proof.
Okay, Mia, one more time, from the very beginning of his testimony.
Jesus.
Hardly knew the guy. Never sucked up to that target. Objection!
Man, I miss playing as Phoenix already.
Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back.
Miss Fay, is there some point to this line of questioning?
Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. That man is not British. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back. Hey, wait a minute. He's wearing a leather jacket. The Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing. I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that was really the case, then why didn't you know? Or why wouldn't you know, would you?
Oh, there.
You would have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me. Please forgive me.
Mia, you made our client cry.
Let him. That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyways. I can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright was all wrong.
That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear that this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime.
Uh-oh. Did I go too far?
By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medication for it? I wouldn't want you to croak here. Like, yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, I took some, but...
Was the medicine that you took an over-the-counter brand called Cold Killer X?
Yeah, that's right. It kills colds good. Hey, wait a second. How'd you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X?
Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now?
Well, actually, I seem to have lost it somewhere. He lost it? Does this even have anything to do with the case?
Mr. Wright, Shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now?
Huh?
Your Honor, I'd like you to have a take a look at another photo from the scene, or the crime scene.
Oh, he took my drugs.
Or what is this? In the victim's hand, it's Cold Killer X.
No, that's Cold Killer Z. Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment.
I didn't ask. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to, especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it.
What?
Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine, dropped by Mr. Wright, and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only be identified as killer as Phoenix Wright.
Order! In the court!
Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence.
Very well. The court will accept them into the courtroom, or into the record.
I feel like he usually says courtroom. Cold Killer X, found clutched in the victim's hand, covered in Wright's fingerprints.
Also, the victim's wristwatch was broken.
Broken? You mean he broke his Gucci watch?
Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all this?
This is really bad.
Oh, my buttocks. My poor hemorrhoid.
Okay, guy, you need to... Can we get him off the stand? Can someone get him out of here? I don't want to hear about this. What really happened? The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so he agreed to meet at 2:45 behind the building. We talked for a bit, and then around 3 we split up. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I'd been taking Cold Killer X for about the last 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident.
Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously.
Achoo! I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth.
You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible.
Miss Fay, please begin your cross-examination.
Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell any more lies. Man, the judge is a lot more respectful towards Mia. Phoenix, he's just like, boy, you suck. Hold it! Had you ever met the victim before then? No, never. But that day he called me up and told me he wanted to talk about Dolly.
And this Dolly person is...
It's kind of embarrassing. She's my, sweetheart.
What? What was that for, Mia?
No, I'm sorry. I just felt like slapping something all of a sudden.
Dahlia Hawthorne was also the lover of the murder victim, Doug Swallow. Before she met Mr. Wright, that is.
So it was one of those nasty love triangles, I see.
Yeah, because we can't escape them in this game. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both right there at the time. Or on time.
You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct?
Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of the IVU.
An alchemist? You mean he did that witchcraft with his, like... You know, the thing where you can just... It's been a while since I watched Full Metal Alchemist. I gotta admit, it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. He was making crack, cocaine. He said, Jesse, it's time to cook. Or Phoenix, it's time to cook. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like quite an ambitious young man.
What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details. About timing of the meeting about pharmacology department. Let's ask about the timing. So you're absolutely certain that you met at 2:45? Yeah, pretty sure that's the time class ends. But they're always doing experiments, so it doesn't matter much. Experiments? Yeah, those pharmacology guys are always in the lab whipping up something. Well, it looks like he's right about the time anyway.
Witness, let's go on with your testimony.
Hold on, just to make sure we cover all the bases, we'll ask him about the We'll ask him about the thingy as well. Oh, I see they're an avid watcher of Breaking Bad. I haven't watched it myself, but well, you know.
I was wondering if you could tell us a bit about the pharmacology department.
Well, okay, sure. I don't know that much, though.
A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high-voltage electricity.
That's right. And they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high-voltage cables everywhere.
High-voltage cables?
Yeah. There were electrical poles set up all around the building. The high-voltage cables run overhead around the roof.
Finally, I think we're getting somewhere.
We talked for a bit and then round 3.
So what was it you were talking about?
You know.
Then,
Maybe we should hang out again sometime.
hang out again sometime. I wish that were true.
No, he's dead. You won't be seeing him anymore. Except in the morgue. Or his funeral.
So you say you went back?
Yeah. That's when I found the body.
Yes, but why did you go back in the first place? Weren't you angry with him?
Well, that's right, I was.
Then why, Mr. Wright? Why did you go back there?
I thought maybe we could make up.
Judging by the atmosphere, I'm pretty sure no one is buying this.
Again, this guy would soon become a defense attorney.
It's rather unusual to catch a cold this time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, I always get a little careless when the weather starts to warm up. I guess I shouldn't sleep with the window open this early in spring, huh?
I suppose common sense is not always common. So, did anyone else know that you were taking cold medicine?
Well, I always took one after meals, so I'm pretty sure all my friends knew about it. Where's Larry? But I lost my bottle around lunchtime.
On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch?
Huh? Oh, what does that have to do with anything?
You can never be too sure.
I always eat with Dolly. Just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Like, boy, they hit different, you know? Her mini omelets are magically delicious. Ouch! Why'd you punch me in the jaw?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden.
I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met approximately the time of his death. And then the defendant returned to the scene. For some unknown reason.
I'm not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine bottles either.
Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted. What? What do you mean?
Me. I knew it was too much work for a little girl.
Oh, I can't. I was like, how old is she at this point? However, there is one mystery that still remains.
There is, Your Honor.
How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how the victim was electrocuted. I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct?
Well, we can't just show you a wire, you moron. Well, that is You're correct, Your Honor.
So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose.
Establish a murder method.
Me.
Your Honor,
Yes, Miss Fay.
I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died.
Her smile looks off. That would be impressive.
Quite the brash statement coming from the rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of court, yes? An attorney must be able to sustain their arguments with evidence.
Of course I know that, actually. I had totally forgotten about that.
Now then, Miss Fay, let me see what you've got. Show me what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted. Well, his watch malfunctioned, you know? Well, I mean, that just produced this picture, right? Because that's all I've got. Unless the Cold Killer X actually had some electrocution capacities. Yeah, that's all I've got's the picture.
As of the cause of death,
I'd say this picture captures it quite well.
Or what? But there's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. I was expecting like a stun baton or something. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this a bit more in detail. Miss Faye, where exactly?
Okay, they didn't even let me, like, read it. Well, naturally, it's right here.
That's... What is that?
A severed electric cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we've heard? The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments requires high voltage. And because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere.
So then, the high voltage cables.
Yes, the high voltage cables is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation.
That certainly sounds plausible. But I'm old, and I don't believe in technology. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I believe some praise is in order. She looked at common sense.
Don't toy with me, old man. How old is Mr. Payne? He's 49? Jesus. Time did not do you good.
Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was... the defendant.
That much is certainly true.
Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer.
You do? Well, what is it?
His fingerprints.
Fingerprints? You mean the defendant's fingerprints were on something else besides the medicine bowl?
Yes, they were playing a game of chicken, you see. It was a game where they knew this was an electrical wire that was, like, you know, very, very bad to touch. So they played chicken to see who could hold on to it the longest. And well, Phoenix just happened to grab the guy's hands and forced him to not let go. He was also wearing rubber gloves, so he wouldn't get shocked, you see.
That makes no sense at all, Mr. Payne.
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo.
Oh, we're back.
As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. And as you may know, leather holds fingerprints quite well.
You mean...
Yes, it's quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hands.
Or what?
I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left the print like that. Intent of murder. He squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable.
No, The guy told him to break up with her. He said no, and he pushed him. There you go. No murder, no.
Order, that's enough. I think we can conclude that there's no reason to continue with this cross-examination.
Stick a fork in us. We're done.
Mr. Grossberg.
My hemorrhoids never lie. The show is over, Mia.
Bro goes by the court case with his hemorrhoids. That's his assistant.
Hey, fellas, how do you think this trial's going?
Yeah, I think we lost.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah, you suck.
Well, anyways, I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him.
No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright is innocent.
No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt.
Your Honor.
At this time, I am prepared to render a verdict in this case.
Did you see his pompadour? His pompadour went limp.
You have something to add, Miss Faye?
Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth, the whole truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be... It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Faye. No matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end. Dude, he did a yogi, where he just was hunched over and he's just stood up.
We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything.
Now, wait a minute. Mr. Wright? I'll tell you what really happened.
But I've already told you, Mr. Wright. There's no need for further.
I did it. I'll admit it. I pushed him. It's my fault. In this picture, that guy looks so old.
That girl, you shouldn't date her.
Hey, it's none of your business.
I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's gonna be bad news.
Hey, you're lying.
Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl.
Stop it. I don't talk about her like that.
What you just said, was that the truth?
Yeah, I was afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure.
Well, as things currently stand, we're absolutely convinced you are.
Please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear I'll tell you the whole truth. I'll be okay. Won't it, Miss Faye? I believe in you. Oh, thank you. Still can't believe it. He really did push the victim.
It feels like my hemorrhoids are going to...
No shot.
It feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake.
No shot. When was this game made? When was Phoenix 3 existent? Everyone point and laugh at him. I don't care. His hemorrhoids. They're doing the Harlem Shake.
When I pushed the victim, that guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. He said, bro, she sleeps around, and I was like, no. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there dead.
Well, the explanation is quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow fell back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that.
It's-
A simple explanation indeed.
At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted.
But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed. That's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that.
Miss Faye, let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear of that?
Yes, Your Honor. Don't give up, Mia. Mr. Grossbug's hemorrhoids are going to explode at this rate. If he is innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it.
when I push the victim.
That guy, he was talking bad about my girl.
So what kind of things did Mr. Swallow say to you?
He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. He said that she was a bad girl.
Is that all?
Yep.
Well, Miss Faye, you heard him yourself.
Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is. Anyway, after he said that, I lost my temper.
He should have just said didn't ask and walk away.
Can you tell me about what happened in a little more detail? That guy, he just said he wanted to say to me. And then he put on the jacket he was holding and started to leave. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy.
Aren't you in college?
I just gave him a light gentle shove to the chest. That is not a light gentle shove, unless that guy's got poor balance.
Also, there are no cables in that picture.
When he did that, there's no severed cables anywhere to be seen. Right, there's nothing like that at all.
But is it possible that you merely overlooked it?
Well, I guess it is possible. What are you doing? Let that guy steamroll over you like cheap asphalt.
I believe what's important here is the moment the push occurred. Let's continue on with the testimony.
Well, if you look in the picture, right?
It's, they're electrical pole, or wires. So they're hanging up high. So of course he wouldn't see them unless he was, like, looking up, I guess. So that means one of them just broke. After he left. Or somebody cut it. It's probably the girl. That moment I heard some kind of loud noise. Loud noise? And what would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure. But it really was loud. It was like, snap! You know, come to think of it, I wonder what that was. The girl's part of the mafia.
Really, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted.
No, that would have sounded like... Look, you're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. Ask for more details. Mr. Wright, what that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. So try to remember what it was. Oh, how do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Aha! Could it have been? Yes, could it have been? Hurry up and tell us. When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. But you would have heard that when you were there. You said when you were walking away. He fell right on top of it and broke it. That was probably the noise I heard.
An umbrella, And did that umbrella belong to the victim?
Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella. Cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Jesus, dude. And again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. That was totally soaked to bone.
Miss Faye. What do you think? Is there something important in the testimony just now?
Well, of course it's important. This is it. Mia, the new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. I want to officially have it entered into the testimony.
How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer.
The court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add the bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony.
Well, he just said the guy fell on the umbrella, so if it was raining, he would then be wet. After I shoved him, he fell down on the top of the cheap umbrella. Bro should have just invested... Bro should have just invested in the air umbrella, you know? So Mr. Swallow fell on top of his umbrella, and you are certain of this? Yeah, it was right there under him. Actually, if I hadn't been under him, I was planning on borrowing it from it. You were gonna mug him? He was gonna push him down, take his umbrella, and leave. Umbrella, you mean? Well, yeah. You see, I was wearing this sweater here. Dolly stayed up late for nights at a time knitting it for me. I didn't want the rain to dampen the handmade symbol of her love. Wait, so the P does mean Phoenix.
My stomach is not to be used as your personal soccer ball, Mia.
Ah, I'm sorry.
Continue with your testimony, witness.
A while after I left, I started to get worried. After you shoved the victim, did you leave the scene right away? Yes, I did. I admit it, I was furious.
You left without even checking Mr. Swallow's condition. Despicable.
That's what I'm saying. This guy becomes a defense attorney who not only wins a case, he beats Edgeworth, who forges evidence at a time. He forged evidence and stuff like that, who had a perfect record. He beat Von Karma, who had a perfect record, who also forged evidence. He beat Von Karma's daughter, who also had a perfect record. It's just like, what? Yeah, but like I said, I got worried about him later. And I can't wait to beat whatever schmuck shows up in this one. At that time, did you see anyone else at the scene of the crime? No one. Jeez, could that stupid cough possibly sound any phonier?
In that case, it's very hard to believe in someone else. Could have been the murderer.
Yeah, but in Guard he wasn't a prosecutor. I was thinking more along those lines. Because if you want to get technical, he also beat the police chief. What's his face? Dom and Gon.
Unless we find something that shows his innocence from his testimony, my dear, I'm afraid the judge will make his final decision with no remorse whatsoever.
Yes, sir. Right, now I need to Now I need more info. Info that will help me turn up some contradictions.
Alright, so what do we got? Cause of death was shock. The wire was broken. As he was died, the victim's watch stopped at the time of death. Did he say a time at all? $3 p.m., but the watch doesn't say 3. Right? No, that says 3. This is slightly after 3. Yeah, he became an ace hitman. So what do we got? A little while... What did... There was something they said somewhere. I think it was the umbrella? So Mr. Swallow fell on top of the umbrella, yeah. It was right there under him, actually. If I hadn't been under him, I was planning to borrow it for myself. The umbrella, you mean? Well, yeah. I was just gonna take it. They want the rain to dampen the handmade symbol. Urgh, my stomach is not to be used as a present. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that wasn't it. I know they said she had something to say about something. I forgot where it was. He was lying there. He was dead. Deader than a doornail. Oh, wait. I think I already hit this one.
Hey, bro, your girl's a little sus.
What do you mean she's sus?
She wasn't that electrical.
Just a... Just gave him a light, gentle shove.
But is it possible to merely overlook it?
I guess it's possible. What are you doing? Let the guy steamroll over you. Am I crazy? I thought there was something they, like, particularly called out. Or, like, she was saying something about something. I think I just hit this one again. Hold it! At the time, did you see anyone else at the scene of the crime? Cough, 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 cough. Nope, nobody. Jeez, could that stupid cop possibly send any fake? In that case, it's hard to believe someone could have been there unless we can find something that shows his innocence. Okay, she didn't say anything about that. I could have sworn she, like, commented about something specifically. He said he was a bad girl. Yep. I lost my temper, and I gave him a shove.
Grossberg is 61?
Bro, time did not do you good, Mr. Payne. Light. Alright, anyways. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know. Oh wait, no, the picture, because he said he fell on top of the umbrella. Yeah, 5 years later, he'd be 66 when Phoenix becomes a guy. Yeah, when he fell on the umbrella. If they're shoving, but the umbrella in the picture is not under him. All I had to do was think for a second. Why didn't you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning? Come on, if I had mentioned that, I would have been able to counter the prosecution's argument earlier.
What do you mean by that?
Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole.
Hey, you're absolutely right. Why is there no music? Does Mia not get her own theme? Like, come on.
The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive.
No!
Order, order, order! The victim! He moved! Mr. Payne! The umbrella in this photo, where is it now?
Oh, well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene.
I want it presented as evidence immediately.
Owned by the victim, found broken near an electrical pole at the scene.
But the umbrella could have simply been blown by the wind.
Not if he was on top of it. I'm still thinking I'm Phoenix. According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind.
But
What is this theme?
I know this. In this matter, the umbrella seems relevantly trivial. But, as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment.
no!
I must say, I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown into the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony.
Phoenix testimony. The victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud sound when this happened.
Well done, Mia. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about?
Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. It was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone.
I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying.
I guess you have another witness. Dude, this is a tutorial case. Why is it taking over an hour?
Exactly, and this witness's testimony will be incontrovertible.
Well, who is this witness?
Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Dahlia Hawthorne. You don't mean Dolly.
I do, Your Honor. The defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right. She was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place.
What?
I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear.
Bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this.
You can't be serious.
Mia, what do you mean by that?
I think this is a good point for us to stop at court. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
April 11th, 11:52 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 3. Man, I miss playing as Phoenix. Miss Faye, I'm sorry about what happened back there. It's all right. At least you told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright. Yeah. So I guess I can start to relax then, huh?
Relax, my boy. You can't be serious after hiding such important facts.
By this implication, right, when you meet Grossberg for the first time, he talks to Phoenix like he's never met him. But, of course, like, this game didn't exist back when that happened. So, like... But the next witness is my Dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will. She's gonna throw you under the bus. You were getting... Well, yeah, I guess he would have been 66 by that time, so maybe his memory got a little bad. Why do you think that? Ah, what do you mean? She's the love of my life, that's why. The love of your life? Huh. Would you mind telling me more about you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? Sure, no problem. Dolly and I, we first met about 8 months ago right here in this very courthouse. Well, how could you not remember the dude with the spiky back hair? Why were we in a courtroom? Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer on the side, anyway. Okay, so he went to art school and he was studying to become a lawyer. Anyways. One day, she and I bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew that was the one for me. Oh, here, take this. Or take a look at this. She gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love. She had been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off. But before she gave it to me, she said, I want you to carry this.
So, she gave you it as a present, I see.
This darling little bottle is filled with memories of my darling little Dolly. It certainly is a little bottle, alright. I mean, it certainly is a bottle, alright. Makes me so happy. I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world. Phoenix? You're not... Small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everyone. Well, anyway, so after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating. Yeah, well, she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
What a strange girl asking for a present back like that.
By the way, Mr. Wright, the day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne 8 months ago, it wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, would it? Huh? Yeah, it was. How did you know? This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse. What's this? A newspaper clipping? Let's see. Murder in the courthouse. Murder?
What are you reading here? Let me see that. Oh, I see. I think I understand what you're trying to say. And I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. You believe there's some connection between these two cases, am I correct?
An article from 8/28, almost 8 months ago. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg.
I need to finish this myself. Yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and have a look at it downstairs in the reading room and see what else I can find.
Thank you.
I want to do whatever I can to be of help to you, Mia.
He says, after when she gets murdered, he refuses to help defend her sister.
Well, it looks like recess is about over. We'd better all get moving.
I guess so. That recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though. To be continued. It's a tutorial case. What do you mean, to be continued? Ooh. Well, I think the reason he didn't oh, I didn't mean to save over that one. Oh well. Well, I think the reason why he didn't challenge that case is because of Mr. Red White, because he's being blackmailed. April 11th, 12:13 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Bro rolled up in the green suit.
Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness.
This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened.
Wait, he took my suit. In the picture I made.
The prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand.
Nice magical, like, scarf thing.
Oh, God.
What's with this stiff silence?
In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity.
I can't believe he actually said that. Hold on, let me check the records. Okay, it's not weird. It's still weird, but not weird.
Oh, well, no, the witness, can you please state your full name?
Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous.
If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size.
And I will bash them with my gavel.
I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You are all so nice. I almost feel right at home.
Not at all.
It was nothing.
If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honor is all mine.
Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Sir,
is there something I can help you with?
You can go on and say whatever is on your mind.
God, dude, these guys are down bad.
I'm sure there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone. I just know it.
Yes. I can see why you'd say that.
She's going to be a tough witness, all right. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger.
Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please.
What I witnessed. I had been planning to go back to Feeney's place after the class was over. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. And then he died. The end. Then suddenly Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed that I was there. I went to go find some other students and they called the authorities.
I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong.
Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please tell us the truth.
But I would never. Ah, yes, I gotta use the infamous girl voice. That's the one I need. That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue.
What do you mean by that?
Please just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. Tee-hee. You haven't changed a bit, Mia Fey.
What's this? So you two are acquainted?
Yes, we've met before. Once.
In any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours.
It's good to see you again, Madam Fey. Madam? I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie. Oh, no! Hold it! Now, unless I'm mistaken, Mr. Wright is in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese Senryu poetry.
Oh, how wonderful! It's that humorous yet satirical style of haiku, yes?
Nothing left to do. When a man reaches this age, sleep is his best friend. That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. For me to get the art department, I have to walk through that back area.
Ah, yes, I see. That makes sense. When I want to enter the courthouse, I always walk through the front doors.
How else would you enter? Teleportation? So who's this Dougie person? Oh, I'm sorry, Doug Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago. So what were Dougie, Mr. Swallow, and Mr. Wright talking about anyways? How could you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I was raised to be such a rude and under-refined.
That's right, Miss Fey.
You should take a lesson.
Don't drag the witness down to your level. Jesus.
Why am I being Okay, so earlier I said Mia was getting, the easy treatment, but now she's getting the cold shoulder now that a woman's on the stand.
Please, go on. What did you see next? Why'd you let the butterflies into the building?
Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim, is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feeny never did a thing to Dougie. If I press her for no good reason, I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? Well, Phoenix testified he pushed him, but I don't know. I didn't exactly read everything she said. I'll just leave it alone for now. I suppose her statement works in our favor for now. I'll hold off on looking into it any deeper until it's necessary.
Very well, young lady. Please go on with your testimony.
Well, from what I processed, she said he did nothing to him, which implies that he didn't push or whatever. I don't know. Am I dumb? I wasn't paying attention, I'm gonna be honest.
What did Mr. Wright say when he saw you? I'm sorry, I was so flustered that I really don't remember. Please forgive me. You don't remember?
Well, that's common enough. Sometimes I can't recall a sentence I passed only...
Hey, I don't like this. You need to stop what you're talking about, sir. I've never felt so called out in seconds.
Sometimes I can't recall a sentence I passed only a minute prior.
Please, anyone, stop him before he gets hurt by me.
Hold it!
When you say students, do you mean students from the pharmacology department?
Well, yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna have to go back to that.
Yes, they're all very fond of their drugs. Please try to stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went to the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do, but in the end, I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow, they all seemed to know what was going on. Students knew what was going on.
Press for details.
But how could...
I'm getting in the voices.
But how could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what was happening. It's just... they all seemed kind of excited about something. Looks like I'm going to get... or I'm not... looks like I'm going to get...
It doesn't look like it. I can't read today.
It doesn't look like I'm going to get any more info.
I'm mixing up the voices.
So did the students call the police?
Hey, yes. I was just so... I was so panicked.
Yes, well, anyone would have been, my dear.
That girl, she's telling a super obvious lie and she knows it. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. Yes, that's gotta be it. Way to go, Mia. Okay, that means I'm going to have to dig deep to find the contradiction on this.
So this is the one that they brought something about, right? No, it was the next one.
Then Dougie suddenly hit the wobble and then, well, you know.
Show the contradiction.
Feeble lies are not becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never.
How dare you assault this poor woman? Miss Faye, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. And that is, she has no supporting... Please don't glare at me like that. I'm doing my job.
Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defense palm print was found on Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did in fact push the victim.
Okay, this is why I didn't push it, because I didn't have evidence that said Phoenix pushed, you know? Even though like, we have his testimony, but we don't have the testimony that he pushed him, so that's why I didn't press it first.
What? There's no need for you to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if it came out and told us the whole truth.
There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything you saw.
Yes, Your Honor. I will, if you don't mind. I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere.
Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie.
You didn't see it. Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground.
In that time, there was only 2 of them at the scene. The defendant, Miss Phoenix, the defendant Phoenix Wright, and the victim Doug Swallow. These not.
Yes, that's right.
It didn't look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear anything. Okay, so pushing him on that brought this. I didn't see the moment he pushed Doug. Went to go find some other students, and they called the authorities. Okay, so what do we got? What does this say? Murder in the courthouse. Very little information is being disclosed at this time since the victim of yesterday's incident in the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. However, police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim. I did press the new sentence. You didn't see it? Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground. At the time, there was only 2 of them at the scene. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow. Yes, that's right. Maybe it's gonna be one of those things where I have to call out some of the other things. Because, like, on the last trial of the last game, I had to, like, string together, like, thingies. Didn't you say something about a bunch of people showing up? Oh, wait. This is new? I thought the other thing I pressed was new. So then, what did it look like they were doing to you? Oh, it looked like they were making out. I thought they were having a nice friendly afternoon makeout session, you know, like bros do. They're both wearing socks, so I didn't think anything weird of it. Oh, give me a break. That's why I wasn't watching them at all that closely.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Mr. Judge. Now then, please proceed with your testimony.
Okay, well that didn't... It didn't sound like they were fighting, and I didn't hear anything unusual. The broken umbrella? She would have heard that. It was like if Phoenix heard it, then she probably would have heard it, right? The victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud snap when this happened. You say you didn't hear anything unusual, is that correct? Yes, that's why I was very relaxed, looking at the scenery around me. The butterflies in the rain, you know. That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud snap, or loud noise. He said that. I'm gonna say it. I don't like Mia, but I also don't like her with the bangs. If you say you really were that close to the 2 of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well?
Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable.
But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way the noise like that could fail to make an impression. May I have a moment to answer?
By all means. We like hearing you talk.
I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. I had my AirPods in. You see, the truth is... I had my headphones on, and I was listening to music at the time.
Your headphones? You mean that both of your earbuds were covered?
Or your ears. The rain was just beginning to let up. Well, I never said I like both of them. I just don't like Mia in general. But it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I am afraid the sound of thunder. So I put my headphones on to block it out.
Well, Your Honor. As you see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony at all, after all.
Wait a second, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. There was lightning. And blah. Your Honor, there's a problem with the witness's testimony.
What do you mean?
Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct?
Yes, what about it?
Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right?
Now's not the time for the science lesson, Miss A.
Yes, Your Honor. Anyways, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning?
Oh, ta-da! I must admit the thought had not occurred to me.
Just what kind of thoughts do occur in the skies, or occur to the sky anyways? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But what if it was the gods that took him out? That very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believed that Mr. Swallow was in fact the victim of the stray bolt.
It appears the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually an accidental?
Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that.
I'm hurt that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Fay.
Yeah, we gotta put the god of thunder or lightning on the stand.
Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, you know. And I know, as a disbeliever of the gods did not kill this man. We found that there were no lightning strikes on the day at that location.
What?
What's more, we had evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case.
Evidence, Mr. Payne. Well, what is this evidence?
This affidavit.
And who is this affidavit from?
The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day.
It's been a while since they've used the word affidavit.
Allow me to read out the court testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power, all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day.
Was it a blackout?
All of the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor.
So you're saying the equipment lost power because...
Precisely. They lost power because the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m.
Which fits the time of death listed in the autopsy report.
Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable.
But you can't pin that on Phoenix.
According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future.
I see.
Apparently, the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break.
Well, that just seems like a safety hazard.
However, there's one thing that troubles me. If the cables could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Fay, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable?
Your Honor, I don't know how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try and regain some momentum. I don't think he would have had enough time to get anywhere high to fall up onto the cables. Because Phoenix said he walked away and then immediately came back. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion.
Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break?
Who or what? Well, I guess if he bumped it, they didn't. They just. I don't know if they were specifying if something hit the cable, it would break, or if something hit the pole, it would break. But if he bumped into the pole and the wires broke, then that is an even bigger safety hazard. It's, you know. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Well. Yeah, when they say the smallest bump would break it, I would assume that they meant the wires. Like the wires were so thin and stuff, one touch from them would break them. Not bumping into the pole would break it, but I guess if you hit a pole with enough force, it could shake the wires enough. Who or what was it that caused the cables to break? No, we either... Well, the only person there that we have is Doug. So it's either his profile or it's the crime photo. Like, that's all we really got. He was mad, so he gamer raged the pole. He gamer raged the pole.
God, I was just trying to help him. I don't know why he pushed me. He won't believe me. She's gonna take all his money and he just pushed me like that. Ah!
I don't know, yeah. The only thing that really points is the guy, so it's like it's either the crime photo or it's his profile. Because it does say who or what. So, you know. We don't have anything that would bump into it. So. This is it. This is why the cable snapped.
Well, Your Honor.
I believe that the only thing that had snap is the mind of the defense.
No, that was one of your best lines yet, Your Honor.
Ouch, that was harsh. Please, Your Honor, give me one more chance.
Well then, let's hear it. Or what was it that broke the cable? Who broke the camel's back?
This is it. This is why the cable snapped.
Well, Your Honor.
No, it wasn't the picture either. We were both wrong. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Who or what?
It was God. He said, I smite thee.
It was the monkey from the circus case. Who or what is it that caused the cable to break? Well, probably Dahlia. Well, we have nothing that says Lorraine. It's probably her, because she said she was there, but we have no real, like, accounts to where she was. Because Phoenix never talked about talking to her, so she could have been doing anything. Unless he got mad, threw the Cold Killer X at the thing, the wire fell, he caught it. Oh, what if that's what happened? It's probably not, but it's like he went to just toss it up and catch it, but he threw it so high it hit the wire snapped, he caught it, and he... I'm gonna say Dahlia. This is it. This is why the cable snapped. Well, you're stupid.
Yes, I agree.
Alright, well, it wasn't Dahlia. Shocking that I don't have a health bar for the tutorial. Who or what is it? The old power cable broke due to some sort of impact on 4/9 at 2:55 p.m. What? At 2:55 p.m. But his clock says differently. All because I think it's funny, I want to say the pills. Even though it's probably not.
Well, Your Honor, she's dumb. She's dense. Who let a woman in the court?
Hey man, I was told that was insensitive. You can't say things like that.
This is why the cable snapped.
God, she's just throwing whatever she's got.
Am I dumb? Why does this seem so not obvious? Like, I've used, like, everything I have. It was Phoenix. Your Honor, please take a look back at Mr. Wright's testimony.
Defense's testimony.
He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct?
Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that?
The lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right in Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage.
Yes, the prosecution also came to the same conclusion. And it was the very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted.
I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne.
What is that supposed to mean?
Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right. The victim banged into the pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break.
Okay, so the wires were flimsy enough to be broken by the hit of the pole. Who at this college let that happen?
Well, that makes sense. When the victim was electrocuted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by this severed cable in the foreground here. Ah! In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim.
Order in the courthouse. Or the court.
Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them.
It is true. The defense is absolutely correct. That doesn't...
Mr. Judge, sir, may I have something? May I say something? The Madame Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them.
What?
What the? Please, just one more. May I please testify one last time, please, Mr. Judge?
Of course, it's all right. Testify as much as you want. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony.
This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors.
She's gonna rip off her hair and she's gonna be like, I'm a dude. What I witnessed, part 2.
The truth is, Feeney pushed him twice. The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him, but Feeney caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted all occurred in less than a minute.
So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away. That sounds like a coward. Should have fought him there now.
And that is when the defendant pushed him in for the second time.
I'm sorry, Feeney, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing, am I, Mr. Judge?
Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Fay, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
What I witnessed.
Miss Hawthorne, previously in your testimony, said the following. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. I know, I'm sorry, I wanted to protect Feeney. So that's what you basically lied to. So that's why you basically lied to the court. I was a bad girl, I know. Mr. Judge.
Yes?
Would you please forgive little old me? Of course he won't. What you did was...
Oh, come on now. It was just a little old white lie. Well, forget it this time. But please, be more careful from now on, alright?
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Judge.
Not at all. Oh ho ho!
The judge had better be more careful himself. A dark alley is friendlier than that girl.
What? I got an achievement. Press Dahlia's claim that Feeney pushed him twice.
You're saying you actually saw the victim get pushed into the electrical pole? I know he doesn't look it, but Feeney can be a bit of an imp when he wants to be. Oh, really? What? I never imagined that he would cause an electrical cable to break. Feeney really is scary when he gets mad.
She's alright.
Yes, he sounds like a very dangerous individual indeed.
Women.
So let me get this straight. You were happily listening to music on your headphones while you watched this scene unfold.
Miss Fay, I'll have to ask you to stop badgering the witness. She is my queen.
I wasn't happy. I was so scared that I couldn't even move. All I could do was stand there and cheer them on. Cheer them on? What do you mean by that? Well, I wished the best for them both, and that they would each give the fight their all.
That's very sweet of you to be so supportive.
And what happened after that?
Well, now she's talking about a fight.
Doesn't sound quite right. There were handprints found on the chest of the victim's leather jacket. Mr. Payne, were there also prints found on the back of his leather jacket?
No, there weren't.
Madam Fay, may I suggest that you listen a little more carefully? I said that he crashed into him from behind, right? My Feeny wouldn't leave any prints behind in that case, would he? Can we get this case done? I don't want to be Maya anymore. Or Mia. You actually witnessed the moment the victim was electrocuted. I'm sorry, I didn't actually see it. I turned my eyes away.
That's understandable.
Yes, indeed, it would have been a horrific sight for anyone to behold.
If I don't figure out the contradiction here, it's all over. She didn't have much time to come up with her lie, so this is my best chance. There must be a hole in her testimony somewhere. Think, Mia.
Feeny pushed him twice. Well, we don't got much evidence on that. There was a loud snap when it happened. The old pair broke. Small bottle necklace. Found flesh in the hand, covered in Wright's fingerprints. The victim's watch, yada yada. The truth is, Feeny pushed him twice. The first time was into the electric pole, that was when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him. But Feeny caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted all occurred in less than a minute. Well, if he died at 3 so-and-so... Yeah, the times aren't matching, which is what I'm noticing. Oh, now I have a health bar. So yeah, it's probably the time that's got to do with here, but we have 3 different time things, so it's either the watch or the autopsy report. Because it says he died at 3. But his watch says 3:0 whatever. Which implies that there's a... you know. There's a time lapse. Objection! That's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture? Cold killer. Oh, that medicine. That's the one Feeny likes to take for his colds. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05.
Yes, your point is, Miss Fay.
My point is, what time was it when the lab suffered from that power outage due to the cable snapping?
Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55. Ah!
Would you care to explain the court, Miss Dahlia Farthorne? What exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow.
Order! In the court! What is all this about?
This is nonsense. The real murderer.
Even you can't deny that time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for.
Then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it?
There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene was there a window of opportunity for the real killer.
Miss Fay, is the defense ready to indict someone as this real killer?
It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
I've been waiting for this.
Yes, Your Honor, we are ready.
Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Fay.
Yeah, it's obviously the chick.
Now then, Miss Fay, let's have it. Who is the real killer?
Mr. Payne with that hairline.
It was the monkey. It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne. What? How could you?
The defense is grasping at straws.
10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you.
Order, Miss Fay! What?
Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two of them fighting on that day, however. After Mr. Wright pushed the victim that subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow in his death by your very own hands. Wah!
Where was their wind?
How could you say something so mean, Madam Fay? I didn't do anything.
Miss Fay!
Why? Why is the text?
Your Honor, please, I have something I want to say. I do.
Hey, Hugh! What is it?
Please strike everything the defense just said from the record.
What the? Are you daft?
You're totally wrong, Miss Fay. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that.
Mr. Wright, get back to your seat. Bailiff, grab the man.
I do. Leave me, Dolly, alone.
That boy.
Oh, it's Grossberg.
He's gotten himself in way over his head.
Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back. How's the hemorrhoid treating you?
It seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping.
Report on the incident 8 months ago. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
You'd better take good care or good look at it. It details how you came to lose your boyfriend.
My God. Well, let me take a read of that. Incident overview. Location: District Courthouse Cafeteria. Date, time, August 27th, 4 p.m. Victim: Diego Armando. Age 28. Occupation: lawyer. Suspect: Dahlia Hawthorne, 19. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. It is unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup.
Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, really, Your Honor,
May I interrupt you for a moment, Mr. Prosecutor?
Don't you worry, my dear. I have the situation well in hand.
Sniffle.
Go right ahead.
Madam Fay, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie? Yes, I am. Not only that, not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, Phoenix just tried to defend her after she accused him.
I told you that you should let me handle this.
Weep.
Sorry, please go ahead.
How could you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for my poor little heart.
I believe this girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be.
The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building.
Who puts a cafeteria in the basement?
And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally meet. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Further testimony? What about?
About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What could that possibly have to do with this case?
The witness claims she has no reason to frame the defendant, am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests she had a very good reason.
Yeah, she's a succubus.
Very well then, the court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a bit longer?
Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne.
How I Met My Feeny. How I Met Your Mother.
I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day.
Well, we're so lovey-wovey, we literally makes people sick. It's just jealousy, I think.
Mr. Wright, do that again and you will be held in contempt of court.
And now we enter the final act of our little drama.
As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her.
She's a witch. She's secretly a dude.
So, until that time, you had been dating Doug Swallow. Yes, I'm a real fool, I know. Letting my emotions change so quickly. I'm ashamed of myself.
No, not at all. Look at me. I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Judge Fickle. Oh.
Maybe you should look for a different line of work.
Despite that, however, he always hands down the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judgin' or Judgini.
Does he hand out the right verdicts? The courthouse reading room? That's a strange place to meet the love of your life. Well, to be fair, I feel like there's been worse. Or weirder. That's not true, Madam Fay. After all, Feeney was not only an art student, but he was also planning to become a lawyer. I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room?
This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case.
Miss Fay, I am warning you. This has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case.
I have to remember, the judge is on Dahlia's side. I'd better tread carefully. Keep pressing. Never pull out. Only go forward. Your Honor, if you'll allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony.
Very well. Young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room?
If it pleases you, Your Honor, the answer is quite simple.
Wait, didn't I say press or push her further? She didn't really say. I don't know.
You're writing a paper on that. On what? On the relationship between modern scenario poetry and the criminal underworld.
Oh, that sounds like a fascinating research idea.
Oh, am I getting old? And now I've never even forgotten what I've forgotten. Again with the midlife crisis stuff.
You know, why did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you want to find, or what you want, blah, 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 blah. Speaking of forgetting something, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? Went through a lot of trouble to get it, my dear, so be sure to read it carefully.
So what was it about Mr. Wright that made your heart malfunction like that? In my personal opinion, he just looks like a typical snotty-nosed college brat. Jeez. Perhaps to a woman your age, but to me, Feeney is handsome. I love the spikes on the back of his head. Perhaps to you, Miss Hawthorne, but to the rest of the planet, he's a dime a dozen.
Well, Hangman, you can't just talk about us men like that. We're not just some dime of dozens. Love is a mysterious thing, and I object to this line of questioning. If you were to look at my...
Bro has a wife?
If you were to look at my wife, for example, you might all be shocked.
He's telling the truth. It was truly, truly shocking.
Bro's dating like a 20-year-old woman, probably. Yeah, his wife is Pokimane. Beautiful mushrooms growing tall in the darkness. It comes from the cow dung. That's the poem that best describes how I feel about my Feeney. She just said Phoenix rose from the cow dung. Are there any bad feelings between you and Mr. Swallow? No, not at all. We parted on a very good term. But that can't be.
Our investigation also shows that it was a clean breakup.
Are you sure?
Yes, it seems that they both wanted it that way.
The victim wanted to break up with her. Press further. So you're saying that Mr. Swallow also wanted to break up with you? Well, you see...
What a cruel thing to ask a lovely young lady like this. By the way, I have never once considered leaving my wife.
No one cares, Mr. Payne.
He said didn't ask. She didn't deny it, that must mean Doug Swallow must have seen through her little act. He must have gotten a glimpse of her true nature.
Listen to me, Mia. That woman has the judge in the palm of her hands, you see. So the only way to discredit her is to find a contradiction in her testimony.
But we have the police report. So the day she came here was the day Buddy died. had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. That's a lie. You came to poison a man. Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here for a much more important reason?
What is the meaning of this cocky smile on your face, Miss Fay?
8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy.
Another tragedy.
Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned?
The name of the suspect in that incident is listed here in this report. And that name is Dahlia Hawthorne.
What?
Dahlia Hawthorne.
Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eyes, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago.
Order! This is unbelievable. Is it true then? The loveliest rose.
Miss Fay, that's not fair. You can't slander my witness. I went...
Let me read! Like, come on, man. Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking.
Pardon me, go right ahead.
It's true that about 8 months ago, the police expressed some interest in me.
Express some interest,
Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the murder. That time occurred during that incident 8 months ago.
I see.
Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I've just got to stay on the offensive.
Well done, Mia. You really lit a fire in my heart and my buttocks.
Why? You're that guy nobody wants to talk to because you can't help but talk about your hemorrhoid.
And I can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids. Why?
I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal at just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where they get a poison like that.
You're very knowledgeable of that poison. So that's what happened in more than 8 months ago.
However, as you've heard from the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just about out of tricks.
Well, I'm sure the reason that people with the animals are guilty is because, well, they're the ones who are trying to be the most innocent. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today, and I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination.
What the? Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger?
Mia, you're glowing with true lawyer's aura, my dear. That proud posture and self-confidence absolutely smashing.
Smashing.
I met the lawyer. What were you talking about with the defense attorney?
Well,
I'm sorry, but that's confidential.
According to the report, you were being interviewed regarding another case.
The lawyer that was killed, he said he wanted to talk about an incident I was caught up in when I was younger. Why don't you tell us about that incident was? That wasn't even a sentence.
that has absolutely nothing to do with this case.
Objections abstained. The defense's question is stricken from the record.
You get involved in a lot of incidents, don't you, Miss Hawthorne? Well, I guess I was just born under a bad sign. Oh god, she's a freaking, God, I don't know what it's called.
Don't worry, Dolly. I'll protect you. You heard the man. Now that is true love, young lady. He wouldn't throw you under the bus.
Oh, Feeny, please.
Yeah.
Those two really are making me ill, albeit for decidedly different reasons. Hold it! How long were you gone? I've already answered all these questions for the police, but if you must know, maybe 10 or 20 minutes. Where were you during that stretch of time? Using the toilet?
What are you saying, Miss Fay? Toilet? My perfect little dolly doesn't poop.
Now, Now, Phoenix, we're in a court of law. Where's your evidence? How can you prove this true?
You heard the defendant, Miss Fay. Better luck next time.
Oh, Feeny, please. The police have already looked into the whole matter. It is indeed women don't poop. This line of questioning is nothing but a waste of the court's time.
Objection sustained, Miss Hawthorne. Please continue with your testimony.
About how much liquid is 2 teaspoons?
Well, let's see. My bottle of eye drop says it's 1/2 fluid ounce, which is equal to 3 teaspoons.
It's about 2/3 of that amount, huh?
The poison found in the lawyer's mug of coffee. It must have been after I left the table. Someone must have quietly slipped it in there.
Heard that there's a very special kind of poison. Special kind of poison? How so?
Well, I heard it's almost impossible to detect.
Oh, where would something like that come from?
I'm sorry, all I know is what I've overheard the policeman saying. They said something about using advanced chemical processes to purify it.
Chemical processes? Well, that's quite impressive. Most impressive.
The better question is, how did the criminal get something like that? And that's the reason they didn't arrest you, because no one could show how you could have gotten the poison. I think that's a good enough reason, Madam Fay.
She's right, and I think we've all had enough Miss Fay's questions.
So in the essence, the main reason Miss Hawthorne was never arrested for this crime was because no one could show how she could have obtained the poison.
And all we have to do is find a way to establish how she could have gotten some. Great. Now, just how did a lit student get a hold of poison of all things? It was when she went to the bathroom, when she went to go take a dump. Because women don't do that. So she crafted the poison. A small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everyone. I guarantee you this has the poison in it. Well, yeah, it's literally a bottle necklace. A small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everybody. Oh, wait, let me... I'm gonna comb through everything first. Even though, yeah, it's probably the bottle. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison, so you see I'm innocent, and I wouldn't... If I see for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that was lethal at just 2 teaspoons. Well, do you think 2 teaspoons could fit in this? Because I think a little more than 2 teaspoons could fit. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. Why, I can't just show it, I have to line it up to a thing of text. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get poison like that. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. From what I heard, it was left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. I met the lawyer who's poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. Well, that's the thing. We can't really present this right now because we don't know like there was anything in this. Like there's no proof that this was holding poison. You know? So this might show up a bit later and then she's gonna be like, well, how would I even carry poison? And then we present this and be like, well, you gave this to the guy on the day. How long were you gone? 10 to 20 minutes, and that's when you were doing during a stretch of time. What are you saying, Miss Fay? Women don't use the bathroom? We're still in this trial. This trial's taken 2 hours. Armada ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity or the suspect's person. It is unclear how the poison entered the victim's cup.
Wham, wham, wham.
It's just like I don't see how we can prove that this had poison. Like it's just a jewelry bottle or jewelry in a way. Like yes, it is probably what held poison, but we have nothing that proves it holds poison just yet. It could be right. I could just be overthinking it. But from where I am at, there's nothing that states that it held poison. No, I'm not gonna submit the umbrella, moron. It probably has to do with the police report. They keep looking at it. We're already past all that stuff. We're here at the new stuff. But I don't know what text to call out. That's where I'm at right now. I wouldn't even know where to get poison like that. Well, she heard that it takes 2 teaspoons from the police. Well, I guess they wouldn't know how much was put into it. No poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. It is unclear the poison entered the victim's coffee cup. That's what I'm saying. It's like, why would she... She knows a lot of the specifics about the poison. No, that wasn't it. I don't know. What do you think of the witness statement? I don't really see any problems with it. Well, since they're taking health off me now, just to avoid having to do the whole trial again, I gotta save. There you go, I did the chain, it didn't work. Left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it's happened. I keep looking at this like there's gonna be new information for me to read, but it literally just goes over the poison. I met the lawyer who's poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. What are you talking about with the defense attorney? Well, I sort of confidential. According to his interview regarding another case. The lawyer that was killed, he said he wanted to talk about an incident I was caught up in when I was younger. Why don't you tell us all what happened in the incident was? Yada yada yada. Yeah, well, you can't do that. Look at my pompadour, it's cool. You get involved in a lot of incidents, don't you, Miss Hawthorne? Well, I guess I was just born under a bad sign. Don't worry, Dolly, I'll protect you. Oh, look at that. It has to be the police report. Bwam, bwam, bwam. So the special kind of poison. How so? Well, I heard it's almost impossible to detect. Sorry, all I know is I heard this policeman saying it. They said something about using advanced chemical somethings. Chemical process. Well, that's quite impressive. Most impressive. The better question is, how did the criminal get something like that? Yeah, because the only 2 things we have here is the necklace and the police report. But again, it's like the necklace has no, like, as of right this second, the thing has no ties to this right now, so. Very little information is being disclosed at this time since the victim of yesterday's incident in the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. However, the police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim. Murdering. Oh yeah, I forgot this clipping has something to do with this. Well, she did meet the lawyer. That's the first thing she says. She says she met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria. The police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim. Yeah, the news clipping would work, if you think about it that way. Might as well. Nope. This is evidence established. Oh, don't ask me. Oops, sorry. That's all. Yada 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 yada. Going as smoothly as I hoped. Yeah, you're right, Mia. I thought I'd be out of here like an hour ago. Just save me the time. Well, let's try it with the first one. No. Kapana, what do you think of the witness statement? I think you're kind of dumb. You seem to be struggling a lot for your first tutorial case. Like, come on, man, you've already played 2 games. Like, you shouldn't be struggling here. It's the tutorial case. Why am I still here? What I heard was a liquid poison that is lethal. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison, so... You see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't have even... Did I use the police report on this one where they're like, I don't even know where to get that poison? Because when she, well, no, she poisoned him and then left, right? Or did she leave then came back and poisoned him? Because if she left, she could have gotten the poison elsewhere. Like, you know, when she went to the toilet. Like, I might not have been far off from what I was saying about her going to the toilet and got the poison. Well, some people do leave for the toilet for 10 to 20 minutes. The weirdos do. Now, let's give it a go, I guess. We just got a process of elimination this. Do we have any new people? No, we don't. Dahlia doesn't poop. Impossible. No, that's wrong. It's a tutorial case game. You can't make me think this hard. If you're gonna make me think this hard for the tutorial, then I can only imagine what the next cases are gonna be like. I don't think the newspaper clipping would work with this. It's the tutorial case. Why is this so annoying? Okay, let's... Okay, let's think this through. So she says she met the lawyer who was poisoned. She left her seat, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get the poison like that. The evidence we have... So what they're trying to phrase up is, how did she get the poison? Yeah, we're trying to prove where she got the poison. Which... I guess now that I think about it... Buddy here's a pharmacology guy. Don't they work with, like, chemicals and stuff like that? Isn't that what they were saying earlier? Oh. Yeah, so she got it from him. Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to get poison like that. But if you knew the pharmacology guy... Well... I got it. You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison, I don't believe you. What? In fact, you had to access that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab.
Boyfriend, you mean the victim Doug Swallow?
That's right, up until 8 months ago. Why was that so hard? I guess I just forgot and just had to sit there and think about it. That's right, up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And that's why they split up, because they both killed that man. And if you recall, your Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University. Pharmacology. We were there for like 20, 30 minutes. His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you have access to such a poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping it into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at the very table, you! No!
Order! Could it be?
That's nothing but a baseless accuse.
May I say something, Madam Faye? What is it, Miss Hawthorne? The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container.
Well, yes.
And see, now this is where the necklace comes in.
Well, yes, that's true.
I was searched immediately after the incident took place.
Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down.
But they didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they? Because she passed it off to Phoenix. That's right, they even mentioned that in the report. Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of proof. Proof? Tell me with that.
Provide some evidence or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Faye.
Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose this lead.
The police conducted a full body search of Dolly in the entire courtroom. And yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred.
If you're going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder, then where is this container the poison was carried in? What happened to it?
You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with this case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched.
Who is this person?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course.
So the defendant was this witness's accomplice.
Of course not. She gave the poison to him, disguised as a present.
What?
But that's...
That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Faye?
The day that the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago. August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All of the purpose of hiding one piece of evidence that would give her away.
What? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here?
No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount. No!
Order in the court!
On behalf of Dolly, I object.
Mr. Wright, control yourself.
I won't let you bully her like this.
Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat.
Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why? Because I'm madly in love with her.
Madly in love. I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time.
Mr. Wright, have you even thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to date you anyways?
Jeez.
Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me too. Mr. Wright, please, open your eyes, you're delusional. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone. The real reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you. Because she's madly in love with you.
To keep you quiet. Because of that necklace.
Dahlia Hawthorne was not, and is not, madly in love with you. And the only thing she is after is the bottle necklace you love to wear around your neck. My necklace? Back there in the waiting room, you said yourself. Yeah, well, she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
What's a strange girl asking for a present back like that?
For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of a crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back. You're lying. But you never gave it back. And to think things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. Hey guys, you like this evidence I have? That's why she... I don't believe you. Ah, that's a lie. Ah.
I can't do a crying voice in that voice.
Yeah, you're right, the defendant, he's getting away. Bailiff, hurry, after him.
He ran away crying.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I think so.
That boy, he went completely insane.
Where's Mr. Wright?
He looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be back soon enough.
Thank goodness. Oh no,
What is it?
the bottle necklace. Miss Hawthorne's present. It's gone.
What? That's terrible.
Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me.
Aren't you behind a desk?
You foolish boy, that's the only thing that could have saved him. What in the blazes are we supposed to do now?
That's a crime he just committed, I'll say, by the way.
Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court.
I'm sorry.
I'm afraid your apology is not enough.
Mr. Wright, what did you do with the bottle necklace? Forgive me, I'm sorry. It's okay, just give back the necklace.
I ate it. Brother.
You what?
You ate it?
It was too big to swallow, so I had to chew it. Into little bits first, but yeah. Ah! What the? What?
What is he doing now?
Your Honor, you've got to stop the trial. Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay?
It's gonna cure his sickness. It's not gonna kill him, it's gonna cure him.
Are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt? The bottle you swallowed may have some poison left in it.
It seems the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us. Clearly that bottle did not contain a deadly poison.
How can you be so sure?
I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. As for the pill poison, more like a fledgling defense attorney overreacted imagination.
So it would seem.
No, there must be some mistake. The bottle must not have had any poison left in it. Either that or the poison must have lost its potency.
There, it's all right, rookie.
What was the bottle made out of? Was it not made out of glass?
Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do, and it's heartwarming to see that you place this much faith in Mr. Wright. But that's how it is for us on the prosecution side, too. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. Which is why I can state that your assessment of her is completely wrong.
That's enough. Unfortunately, Miss Fay, I cannot accept your explanation of the events.
But why?
This may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand, but in a court of law, Evidence is everything.
Even after I prove so much, is she going to get away with everything?
Well, now that the suspicion surrounding Miss Hawthorne has been cleared up, we'd like to proceed with...
Mr. Wright? I'm sorry, Miss Fay. It totally slipped my mind. I'm really sorry. I know you believed in me and I feel like I really let you down. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say? There's something I forgot to tell you.
What is it?
That day I met Doug Swallow.
We're still in this trial.
The girl, you shouldn't see her anymore.
Hey, it's none of your business.
I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news.
You're lying.
Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Last night, someone stole poison from our lab.
Poison?
The same thing happened 8 months ago. A drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab that time, too. It could only have been her. That girl is a thief.
Stop it. Don't talk about her like that.
Gah, gah, gah.
Is it true? Did he really say that?
That's ridiculous.
There's one more thing. After I pushed him that day, I got word and came back to have a look. And she was there. Dolly was right there. She was crouched down next to him. What? She told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but... I'm sorry, Dolly.
Your Honor, this is the defendant is...
I say, you tell them. Dolly didn't do it. She's innocent. Dahlia stole poison 8 months ago too, huh? If you put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony, then there's only one possible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Dahlia Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow.
The night before?
Naturally, her motive for stealing it was to kill someone.
She was going to kill Phoenix.
Hey,
If you're so certain of your theory, then let me ask you this. Let me riddle you this.
this is our last chance. Think carefully now. There's something that she desperately wanted to get back. Therefore,
Exactly who is Miss Dahlia Hawthorne planning to kill?
there was one person that was standing squarely in Miss Dahlia Hawthorne's way, and that person was Mr. Phoenix Wright. Me?
That's preposterous. After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered.
Well, it's true that's how things worked out, but let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. The person that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison was, in fact, you, Phoenix Wright. There's no one else that it could be.
But how can that be? I thought Mr. Wright and Miss Hawthorne were in love.
It was a one-sided relationship. Poor Mr. Wright, this must be killing him. Hang in there, I'll bring her to justice, I swear it. As I said before, the only thing Miss Hawthorne truly cares about, the one piece of evidence lurking or linking her to that incident 8 months ago, that's right, the bottle necklace, that's all she cared about.
But even so, why? Why would she go so far as to murder him?
8 months ago, just after the fall of the attorney in the basement cafeteria, Dahlia Hawthorne could think of only one thing. Had to get rid of the bottle necklace as quickly as possible. Nah, it can't be. It was a pretty good move she made too. The evidence was missing for so long. But there was just one big problem. Although she got to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her.
This is what happens when you try to get with a woman who's higher than your standards.
To him, the tiny little bottle was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met.
But what does Larry have to think about this?
You mean, that's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright?
Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence.
You know, you could have just like...
That can't be true!
You know, she could have just like... You know... went to his house, waited till he fell asleep, and just took it. Feeny, what a joke you are! Oh. Honestly, how can a woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and that necklace. You disgust me.
Miss Hawthorne!
It appears that we're nearing the end of this trial. Fine, I can tell you plan on making me into a criminal no matter what I say. You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne. We'll see about that, but first, where's your evidence? It seems your sniveling little crybaby of a client has eaten the bottle of a snack. Well, hey, old man, are you senile or something? Why don't you say something instead of sitting there with a dumb look on your face?
Miss Hawthorne, what's happened to you?
Are you really that shocked? Or do you prefer me this way, Mr. Judge? With absolutely no proof, you treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now if you don't mind.
We're not finished.
Fine. Then ask this nasty old fart hag to finish up already.
Oh! Teleportation.
I can't let her get away this time.
Stop me here. If you keep on pushing without any evidence, you could pay the ultimate price as a lawyer.
The ultimate price?
You'd be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid.
No. Oh, she returned. You'd better think it over carefully, Miss Fay. Or should I say, Miss Gray? No, Mr. Turn Her Gay was in the other one.
Well, Miss Fay, can you provide evidence that would establish her guilt once and for all?
If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over. But to be honest, at this point, I don't have any evidence that's well-founded. Even so, I'd rather lose my attorney's badge than let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof.
Impossible, you can't possibly.
Let us wait a couple hours. Mr. Phoenix Wright will have to use the bathroom at some point. Stupid woman.
It is the opinion of the court that there has already been enough to discuss. There has already been enough discussion. Therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented.
Just one?
If you are unable to establish her guilt, then I am afraid that a very harsh verdict will immediately be handed down on Mr. Wright.
I understand. Your Honor. I can imagine a headline for tomorrow's newspaper. Up-and-coming lawyer plummets to the earth before she gets the chance to soar. She's planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there.
Well done, Miss Fay. Please present your evidence. Those of this court from irrefutable proof that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison Mr. Wright.
Planning to poison Mr. Wright. Very little information is being disclosed at the time since the victim of yesterday's incident in the district court cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. However, police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting next to him. It'd probably be the police report, right? We haven't gotten to use that for anything, right? The cold killer tablets could also be it, yeah. Because she could have, like, just gotten a bottle of what looked like cold killer tablets, slapped the label on it. Why would Wright have a cold? Oh. Well, if he's been taking them, I don't know why he would... Yeah, unless she's using a different kind of poison, I guess. But yeah, it's like... It could be the bottle. But they say it only has his fingerprints. Like, it doesn't... Because if she had anything to do with the cold killer bottle, it would have her fingerprints on it as well. Was she wearing gloves? I don't remember. I'm not sitting there looking at her hands, you know? looking at the text at the bottom. Well, I can't go back in the trial, so, you know. Proof of my profession. The first time and last time I wore it was a year ago. Yeah, I suppose we haven't used the bottles, though. Like, I'm not like, saying it's, like, not an option. If we have to go off what we haven't used, it's that, the newspaper clipping, and the last thing. Yeah, he also did lose these. Here it is, Your Honor. The evidence that will prove her guilt once and for all.
Cold Killer X, Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine.
Does our rookie defense attorney have a bit of a cold?
If I did, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned. Okay, yeah, so she just swapped it around. I was just overthinking it.
Or what?
Remember what the defendant said in his testimony? But I lost a bottle around lunchtime on the day of the accident. I always eat with Dolly. Just the two of us. Okay, I overlooked that part. If I remembered that part, then yeah, I would have thrown the bottles out immediately. He was the one who took this bottle to Cold Killer X. And I also didn't remember she wore gloves. If I had those two things in my brain, then yeah, I would have put it out immediately. Then she poisoned it, knowing that Mr. Wright was going to take some.
Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was the victim Doug Swallow that was holding the medicine.
I would like the court to recall the crime that happened 8 months ago. You didn't carry nothing. Shut up. You said like 2 things. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence?
What are you talking about?
8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace, which she then gave to someone for safekeeping. Someone she had accidentally run into in a reading room. My client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. After shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. That is when the murderer, Dolly Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the poisoned bottle of Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright.
I believe she did testify that she was going to meet with the defendant.
Yes, she heard and she saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and the victim were arguing about, and the cut electrical cord, or cable. That's when she realized, I can't allow Doug to text my wife. She used the severed electrical cable to silence him forever. Unfortunately for her, this is when the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene, came back to check on the victim. And on top of that, because of the power outage, some students showed up as well. It's hardly any wonder that she was, as she put it, in a state of panic. Recall that she was carrying that bottle of poison medicine. She must have thought, what if they searched me like they did 8 months ago?
8 months ago?
I'd like to point out, she's not wearing gloves. Yeah, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way she did back then. Okay, but back then she was wearing gloves. Okay, that makes more sense. She had someone else hold it, in this case, Doug Swallows. Dude, look how crinkled his outfit is. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled, aren't you? This stupid woman, she's nothing but a filthy, stinking liar. Right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, that's exactly right. It's just pure desperation.
I wonder which one of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, this cold medicine, I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some. Well, Mr. Wright ate that necklace of yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your innocence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking liar, then there's no need to worry. So come on, show us. Do it. No balls.
Mia Fey. Mia Fey.
Dun dun.
Do you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey?
Did she burn the butterflies?
That's just fine. For the time being, your victory is yours. For the time being? Well, I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again. I'm certain of it.
I don't think you will.
Well, Mr. Judge, I'll see you later too, okay?
Yes.
I'm going to spend a little quality time with the men in blue now. I wish you all the best.
Can we, arrest her for murder of butterflies? Are we done? A 2.5-hour tutorial is crazy.
Phew, it's finally over. I refuse to accept this. The defense hasn't shown a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim.
But even so, your witness seems to have accepted it.
I don't care. I'm Winston Payne, and I don't believe one word that this rookie lawyer has said. Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this. Let me riddle you this. Would you care to try this cold medicine? What? Just a little earlier, I could have sworn you said... There, it's all right, rookie. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. So if she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there's couldn't be possibly any poison in here, right? Well, you see, I'm actually allergic to... And here comes the backpedal. Come on now, rookie killer, show this rookie how it's done. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life on it? My hair, it's flying. My beautiful hair. No! No, my hair.
So that's how he lost his wiener.
Mr. Payne, about Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Yes, Your Honor. File papers for her immediate arrest.
Tragic. No surprising. I knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning.
Don't lie. Just admit you were wrong.
By the way, Miss Fay,
Yes, Your Honor.
was it just me, or did you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne seem to know each other?
Your Honor, whether we did or not has no bearing on this case.
Very well. Mr. Payne?
This can't be happening. It's a nightmare. It's like losing to my daughter.
It appears Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along with his hair. Don't worry, being bald's pretty alright. Just look at my bald head, it's magnificent. Does the defendant have anything further to say?
It can't be true. My dear.
Dolly, too.
Very well then. I believe I am ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. The court finds the defendant Phoenix Wright
Not guilty.
Yeah!
Oh, they even changed his little portrait.
This court is adjourned.
Nothing like a 2.5-hour tutorial, am I right? Yeah, can we play as Phoenix now? I don't want to play as Maya. April 11th, 3:16 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3.
Mia, you're wonderful in there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grossberg.
During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids were going to explode like Mount Vesuvisa.
Vivia. Mr. Grossberg, do you, maybe think you could stop talking about them?
That's rather rude. Anyway,
That's rather rude. Bro, that's disgusting.
Anyway, this case really made me think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with the client? Perhaps it is we the veteran lawyers who have lost sight of this.
Oh, Mr. Wright, congratulations. Thanks. You know, I was thinking. Go on. The Dolly that I saw up there, on the witness stand, I don't think that was really her. What? Yeah, the Dolly I know could never say those kinds of terrible things. Maybe she was like, I don't know, a fake or something. Boy, this poor kid still hasn't got a clue. He's a bit down bad. You need to forget about her, Mr. Wright. For your own sake. Yeah, you're right. That's probably for the best. Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little. But, out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown. What kind of company does this guy keep? Right now,
I'm studying to become a lawyer myself. That's why you keep saying, but I thought you were in the art department. Well, yeah, I am. But there's a friend that I desperately want to help. And if I hurry, then I should still be able to save him in time. I see. Say, Miss Fay, a lawyer is someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right? Mr. Wright, I'm still new to this, new at this myself, but I think that's exactly what a lawyer is. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'll study my butt off. I'll become a lawyer for sure. I hope we see each other again someday. Maybe in court. Well, you wouldn't, because you're both being defense attorneys. It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. I became a lawyer like I planned, and managed to save my friend. But Mia has passed on to a better place. For me, this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. And memories that I thought I would never rise to the surface again. Had Mia die clobbered on the head by the thinker made by Larry Butts. Killed by Mr. Red White of Blue Court. Mia's gone now, but even so, I can hear her in my mind. She's gone, meanwhile Maya.
Hey, it's me!
Phoenix, no matter what, always believe in your client. In a court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief. Yeah, she died on like the second trial of the series. 5 long years. Something has happened that's made me think back to the words of wisdom. But that is a story for another day. Episode 1, Turnabout Memories.